You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, presented by the Only One Media Group. This is the people's choice for quality interviews, celebrities and special guests. Hosted by Demetrius Dini Reynolds. Call in to join the mix at 701-801-9813. For the complete archive of episodes, visit onlyonemediagroup.com and be sure to like us on Facebook at Vigilantes Radio. We welcome all. Enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds. Enjoy the show.
Yo, what is going on? And welcome to another awesome episode of Vigilantes Radio. I am your host, dini-mussolini, and right now there's over 35,000 of you guys on our phone lines, in the chat room, using Google Hangouts or Skype, or even the browser. All the plugins that I use to run these live episodes, you guys are filling them up, and I appreciate that greatly. We have a very special guest, so you definitely want to stick around for that. Discipline yourself is difficult. Being truly committed is difficult. Making decisions is difficult. Like being an adult, man, is difficult. You know, following through on your promises is difficult. Staying focused, doing work, planning, organizing, leadership, persuasion, personal development, learning, teaching. They're all difficult. The ingredients of success are difficult. They involve real effort and sacrifice. They often are tedious and tiring, yet they lead to a very positive outcome. The achievement of something worthwhile, the fulfillment of your possibilities, success and accomplishment. While the requirements for success are indeed difficult, they do end in success if you stick with it. The alternative is regret, and regret never ends. So today you have a choice. You can do the difficult work, make the tough decisions, follow through on your commitments, and by so doing, you bring yourself closer to success. Or you can avoid all of that and lead yourself down the path to never-ending regret. When tomorrow comes, how will you look back on today? With gratitude and satisfaction, or with regret? Guys, the choice is yours. Take that from me, dini-mussolini. That is my word, and word is bond.
You're live in the mix. Let's get this started.
Yo, hello and welcome to another awesome episode of Inside the Music, or Inside the Book, Inside the Business, where we dive into the minds of the people who create marvelous things. It feels so good to be back with you guys once again. So one time for my people who are indigos, crystalline or starseeds, or for my Vigilantes audience family, and 2 times for my people who are vegetarian or vegans. If you're like me, we are averaging over 37,000 live listeners, and we've been at this for 4 solid years. I appreciate all you guys who've been rocking with the kid on this journey, and we are still evolving, baby. It is all because of you, most definitely. We are the people who have dedicated their lives to music, spirituality, business, literature, art, movies, and research in every aspect, and we want to allow you an opportunity to tell your story. Man, we've had celebrities on our show, from Grammy Award winning artists to nominees to actors, comedians, CEOs, technology geniuses, visual artists, from authors to professors and aliens, or people who think they're aliens. It doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. Come on our show and talk to me. So check it out. To book your interview or just to share a real cool story, email me at vradio@onlyonemediagroup.com, and that's V as in Victor. I'm passionate about what I do, just as passionate about what you do, and together Yes, together we can get your voice heard by the people who should hear it. So let's create something incredible. You know the number to dial, 701 801-9813. Text that number to your buddy right now and tell them to tune in to connect with us or our guests, or you can hop in the mix directly from our website, onlyonemediagroup.com. Right from the homepage, you can slap that go live button and you'll be right here live in the mix and in the chat room with all of us. Feel free to shoot over some questions to ask our guests while they are here, but only as time permits. Sometimes my guests and I talk entirely too much and we take up the entire hour. And as always, all episodes are available for free download, and you can grab that from either Spreaker.com/onlyonemediagroup, iTunes, YouTube, or any app from the Google Play or iTunes Store, or over at our website. And that goes for every single episode that we ever aired.
Be my main, 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 be my main. It's not every night you come across somebody like you, like you. I think I really like you, like you. Honey, tell me what you're into. You said, boy, I just fed my heart and I don't wanna relapse. Just play your bottom, baby, just kick back. Let me get you all the closer you can hit that. Ooh, honey, now that I'm through the door, I just wanna stay here. Convert a night into a life that we both share. If you were really down to take care. And then you saw you say something, you hear a thing to occupy screaming. Although you talk too much, I'm loving your treatment. So strike me harder, baby boy, and stop thinking. If I will let you know my name or even be my main, 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 be my main. Won't you stay? Won't you stay? Won't you stay? Won't you stay? Won't you come out? Won't you stay? Won't you stay? And be my main, be my main, be my main. Say my name, oh I bet you can't scream that. Should we stop and just recap? Take it down and just decap. Ooh, baby boy, you're pulling it out, forever be a stranger. Fill it up, ask questions later. Tonight I just wanna be a bad neighbor. I just wanna please you just enough to make you say, ooh, baby, trust me, you're doing okay. Get me closer, coming closer, keep it steady, just stay. Ooh, baby, take a shot my way. Ooh, need you to stay. Ooh, baby, put me down, don't let me escape. Ooh, just stay. Yeah, you'll definitely stay. Be my main, 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 won't you stay? Won't you stay? Won't you stay? Won't you stay? Won't you come out? Won't you stay? Won't you stay? Be my main, be my main, be my main.
All right, guys, you just got finished listening to Allocai with this song, Be My Main, and I hope I pronounced his name correctly. We'll find out. But, it never ceases to amaze me of the amount of talent on this beautiful planet. We are the people who have dedicated their weekdays, nights to music, books, film, news, business ventures, and talk in general. From our incredible writing and promotion here on our new Facebook page, which you can find at Vigilantes Radio. And if you dare slap that like button to support us, or the show that you're listening to now, which is, of course, Vigilantes Radio. Duh. It's our interview and music show. Not just music, we do have authors and actors and celebs on at times. So yes, it's going pretty great so far. I guess we know what we are doing, but we try. And then we have a show called Skeptics of the Handshake. It's not a regular show, but we do it maybe quarterly. So I get a bunch of my friends and we sit around with a celeb and kind of just talk about everything from spiritual living to relationships to business, money, the music business, or just topics in the news. It's a very funny show. It's unscripted and there's a lot of jokes and a lot of drinks. So Check that out as well. It's called Skeptics of the Handshake. We spend each and every day giving our maximum effort to create a inciting indie and professional community for all creative minds that coexist in this beautiful artistic world. So let's go ahead and get our special guest on. Hey man, you're now live in the midst with all of us. How's it going?
What's up? It's going good. Dealing with the LA sun's extreme heat out here.
All right. Dope. Man, did I get your name correct? Or
Allocai. Not Allocai, so it's like Nikolai. Allocai.
Oh, Allocai. Okay.
There you go.
Right, Allocai. Okay. Got it.
Yep.
All right, man. So tell us a story here, man. We love stories. I want to know about your progression through learning your craft. We also want to know more about your life story and the aspect of music as well. So how did it all get to where it is today?
All right. So I've been singing since a very young age, but it was weird because I was an academic at the same time. I always deeply loved music, but deep down I always tried to not pursue it as a career, mainly because of how competitive the industry is. It was like, you know what? This is my joy. This is my I'll just keep it as leisure so I can genuinely enjoy myself while I'm practicing. But then all of that changed after kind of, you can see a turning point. You know, every life story has that one turning point that changes everything. So my turning point was I was in a relationship. By the way, this was when I was in Jamaica, because that's where I grew up. So back home, I was in a relationship with this chick, and then all of a sudden, it was kind of weird. She decided to go on this break. All right, so I was like, maybe it's just regular relationship problems, and she'll come back soon or something. But then the weirdest thing happened where I started to get suspicious, that because I realized that I just got glimpses of her, like spending time with my dad, and it just seemed weird to me. But I always just dismissed the thought, like, nah, it could never be that. And then I actually realized that, the reason she actually broke up with me was because she was dating my dad. As weird as that sounds.
Wow.
But then, yeah. And then at the time of this, I was like, I think I just turned 18, and she literally just turned 18 too. And then found out later on that about a couple weeks later, because all of this just kept getting worse, like exponentially, found out that she was pregnant. And then obviously it was for him or me, who knows. But yeah, so after we found out she was pregnant, I think my dad brought her over the house, and all three of us got in a huge argument because I was just not having it. I was just not having both of them there in the house at the same time, the place that I grew up. And what basically happened, it got so heated that night that my dad decided to basically kick me out basically out of the family, out of his life. So it wasn't just him kicking me out of the house as much as it was metaphorical as well, like him kicking me out of his life. And so I went to live with my grandmother after that. That's my grandmother on from my mother's line. And shortly after, I heard, like, as if this sort of salt in the wound, that she got married to her. They were getting married or some shit. So what ended up happening was that my ex-girlfriend became my stepmom.
Oh, wow.
As weird as that sounds. But yeah, then shortly after that, so you can imagine the depression that I was going through at the time.
Right, yeah.
So while I was at my grandmother, I was really just barely clinging on to my sanity, to the point where I just really wanted to end my life, so to speak. But eventually, somehow my grandmother, even because I was really secluded at the time, I was a super introvert, I just wouldn't talk to anybody. But eventually my grandmother came around to me, and she pretty much saved me from suicide, honestly.
Wow.
So I really have to thank my grandma for that. So she's listening now. But so after that, the solution, because they tried sending me to therapy, but it just wouldn't work. I was too secluded. And so my grandmother was like, you need to find a way to express these emotions you keep it inside, seeing that you won't talk to anybody about them. If you won't talk to me, if you won't talk to a therapist, find another way. And then one day she just kind of carried me by the beach and pretty much just left me there. And it was at that point that I was staring at first, and I was crying, I was screaming, I was just doing whatever I could to express all those confusing emotions, because it was anger, it was sadness, it was pain, it was just everything bundled up into one big blob. Until eventually, I eventually went back to that beach again, and the shouting eventually turned into singing, and the singing and expression eventually turned into songwriting. And that's when I decided that, hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to write an album that catalogs this entire experience. And what I wanted to do from the get-go was, for each song of that album, I wanted to represent an emotion that I was feeling at the time. So I didn't want the album really to be like a book, like to tell the audience word for word or the listeners word for word what happened to me. I wanted it to be almost like a representation of the emotion that anybody could empathize to without hearing my personal story per se.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And so after I wrote that album, and granted you the first album I wrote was absolute crap. I just wrote it to express myself. And then I got pretty much caught on to the concept, like, this could actually work. And so I had the emotions that I wanted to represent in the album already. Mm-hmm. And so I pretty much just kept writing songs until I had the exact song that fit the emotion that I wanted to express. And I had the album ready. And then shortly after that, pretty much dropped out of med school because I just couldn't stay focused on medicine anymore. And then left for LA until I found eventually 3-4 Records discovered me, and we decided to develop the album together.
Nice. All right. I mean, how difficult is it to share this story? Are you completely over it, or is it just?
I mean, at first, because I've had to share it so many times now, it's gotten easier as I go on. But at first, I would not tell people, and then I remember telling people like initially, and they'd literally just think, "Oh, that's a cool story for an album," and I was like, "Oh, yeah, that actually happened." But yeah, it gets easier as I go on, I guess. Still painful though.
Okay, that was my next question. Are you laughing at it yet? So it's still kind of painful for you.
I guess I laugh at it to kind of ease off the pain a bit. To kind of forget that it was such a painful experience. But yeah, it gets easier as it goes on. I think I'm laughing at it a bit now.
Most definitely. So, how do you feel about social media in general, like being included in this new age music industry?
I really and honestly believe that social media is the greatest tool granted by technology for any independent artist, whether it be a musician or actor, anybody that wants to showcase their talent, because in the industry, especially in the arts, audience really is the currency and attention. And what it does is it levels the playing field for you to get in front of these people. You just have to keep their attention when you do. So yeah, it's a pretty awesome tool that technology generated.
Yeah. And you're a dancer as well. How's the stage life looking these days?
I haven't started because I've only released one single so far, which is Cloud 9, and Be My Main release is this Friday. I've only performed at one gig so far, and that was the one song, Cloud 9. But as I've told my fans, as the year goes on, I release more singles, then I'll start performing more often. Yeah. But yeah, Be My Main is definitely a song that I want to perform more to kind of hype up the crowd.
Right.
So I'll definitely be performing more after that drops.
Yeah. And how was that first performance? Like, how was the magic?
It was absolutely fantastic because it was at a club. I think that's one of the best places to perform a song like Cloud 9.
Yeah.
So the crowd was just really hyped with me, and it was magical. It was really magical. It was a club in Hollywood. Yeah, it was magical.
Do you like have not saying that every singer or pop artist do this, but a lot have their YouTube channel where they're covering different cover songs or popular songs that are on the Billboard. Have you explored this avenue?
Covering songs?
Yeah.
I have, but it's mainly just been like for posts to my Instagram story or such.
Got it.
But it's not something that I really do I would say in depth per se. But I do it a lot of times sometimes, mainly for my Instagram though.
Okay. And you said you're working on an album. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So what kind of events in your life have to take place for you want to write about it?
I guess just anything with emotion really. So anything that gives me a profound emotional experience, whether that be sadness or happiness or humor, whichever one. Mm-hmm. And as long as I can translate that into musical notes and allow people to empathize to it, then I have a song just like that.
Good. And personally, man, what's on the inside of you that drives you to work, on this music thing as you do?
I really believe it's a genuine need to entertain people. Yeah. That's definitely at the heart of it. A genuine need to entertain people and to have people empathize with my emotions, have people relate to them. It's always such a blessing when one of my fans messages me or something, say, that Cloud 9 really touched them, or it really tugged to something inside of them, and I just feel there's no greater feeling than that. It's really amazing.
Most definitely. So I view everything as being like fuel, whether it's inspiration or aspiration, even entertaining, where you feel like that's your thing to do for the world, for your friends, your fans, your family, is entertain them. But when that runs low, who entertains Allocai?
Who entertains Allocai? So in the current pop market, in the current music industry now, I have to say my biggest go-to artists in terms of entertainment are, I'd say Kendrick, definitely Beyonce.
Right.
Adele, whenever Adele decides to drop something.
Yeah.
Rihanna, because Rihanna's Caribbean. Bruno's amazing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Bruno Mars is amazing.
Yeah.
Who else is there? There are really a lot, especially young upcoming talents these days. There's really a lot of young talented people. Billie Eilish, that's another one.
Yeah,
that's up and coming. I really enjoy the new landscape in music these days.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting.
Most definitely. And you kind of went outside your narrative. I'm part Jamaican, so I'm Jamaican, if that is a thing. But most people think of Jamaicans or people who come from Jamaica to do only reggae. Why did you decide to go against that typical, stereotypical genre?
Yeah, for sure. I think I decided to go against it mainly because people expected me to do it.
Okay.
In all honesty. But reggae does actually influence a lot of my songs. So because what I always try to do in music is, even though it's pop, I try to incorporate different influences in it. Mm-hmm. So even a song like Cloud 9, it has both trap and reggae and pop influences to it at the same time.
That's a great mixture.
But yeah. Yeah.
I would have loved to be at that show, man, to see that live. Wow.
Yeah, it was dope. It was dope as well.
So, I mean, I know your journey is still fairly new, but what are some of the toughest decisions that you feel you had to make along the way for building up your brand?
For building my brand. Well, a couple things, really. Well, I mean, the first tough decision, obviously, was leaving Jamaica, come to LA, and then leaving med school and doing music full-time, like, wholeheartedly. I would say one of the toughest decisions I definitely had to make, though, was, alright, so when I came to LA, an interesting thing happened, and it's that I actually got involved with a boy for the first time, and that was just crazy. Like, to actually have my family is very conservative and Christian.
Yeah, I could imagine.
And being from Jamaica again, very conservative and Christian.
Yeah.
And so to actually, because I always knew I was kind of bi back in Jamaica, but when I came to LA and I got the space to express it openly, being able to, I guess the toughest decision was just being able to own that unapologetically and allow everybody to see it and face the criticism head on as it comes. But yeah, that was definitely one of the toughest decisions I've had to make so far.
I mean, I could only imagine, man. It has to be like a scary feeling and also a liberating feeling at the same time. Like to experience those two things at the same time. Wow. It
takes such a load off of you, but at the same time, up until the point you do it, there's just so much fear involved that it almost crushes you until you just fight. It's like skydiving. Like, you're only afraid up to the point where you actually jump out of the plane.
Yeah.
I always tell people that, like, it's such a scary feeling until you just finally let it go. Then it just becomes a huge, like, load lifted off of you.
Most definitely.
And so, yeah, for sure.
All right. So what's coming up for you in the near future?
In the near future, I know I had my fans on the edge about what I would drop this Friday, so hopefully they heard the single a while ago. Be My Man drops this Friday, so that's the first drop. Also, throughout the rest of this year, I have 5 lead singles that I want to leave it before I drop the album and a few music videos. So I'll be announcing those as the year goes along. But of course, I love surprises, so I won't exactly tell you exactly what I'll be dropping. Just that something's dropping.
All right. You're going to build a suspense. I get it. All right.
For sure.
Are you guys ready for some music? Because I am. We have Allocai with his song Cloud 9. And after this, we'll be right back. Here it is.
Trapped inside my brain, can't escape from my own mind. Trying to explain all the chemicals I combine. Think it was shoes and meth, purple breath. We both listen, tell them back. And this will come to form, just to more and enjoy life.
Making ourselves happy, making a nice sunny, rolling our own way.
go to church, boy, go get baptized. Already above the earth, living on cloud nine. Already above the earth, living on cloud nine. Already above the earth, living on cloud nine.
All right, and we are back. That was the incredible song Cloud 9 by Allocai. I could tell you, folks, I just added that to my personal Spotify playlist that I bump every single day, every morning as I, travel about my town. I gotta play my, upbeat music, and this one definitely deserves its rightful place in my playlist there. So yeah, I encourage you guys to do the same. That was an incredible piece of music, very vibey, and I love vibes. So do that, guys. The links are in the description of this episode, so all you have to do is click the link. I want you guys to watch those assumptions. The other night I walked into the family room and spotted our dog sitting on the floor right up next to a cushion from the sofa, just happily chewing away. I marched over to her, took her head in my hands, and pointed her face toward mine, looked her directly in the eyes, and in my best alpha male voice said, "No." Right. No. Just N-O. Very assertive, very alpha male like, Then her head still in my hands, I looked down and discovered that she had in fact not been chewing on the sofa cushion, but on her new chew bone, which we had just given her. Oh man, I felt like a total dick. Yeah. The cushion, had likely been just knocked on the floor by one of the kids and, just happened to be right next to her. I felt awful. Now, I'm certainly, that she understands the word no, especially when I say it all assertive like, but she most certainly does not understand, oops, my bad. So, to my heartbreaking frustration, there was no way I could take back the scolding that I had just delivered. Like, I delivered it right on point. But guys, I said all that to say that we all make assumptions every day. Without them, we could not get anything done. Still, it pays to remember that things are not always as they appear. That especially is important when you're doing something that cannot be easily reversed. Watch those assumptions. Be sure they're correct before you act, or you could get some growls directed your way. Take that from me, dini-mussolini. That is my word, and word is bond. But for right now, let's bring back the man of the moment. Hey man, so dope song, dope record, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, can't get enough of it. As I was adding it to my Spotify playlist, I kind of noticed something I didn't notice before. You got kind of, I may be wrong, so you have to correct me here. But you kind of have this duality thing going on. Like, there's a photo of you, with face paint. You're like the star. You're not hiding. But then there's this other character, with the Raiden hat and chain and face is hidden, and all black.
For sure.
And then I look at the cover and you're pulling this happy kid out of the sky back down to this desert land, So what's up with that, man? Sure. Tell us all about the image.
So what that image represents art. So the whole song Cloud 9 is based off, remember I told you the album catalogs the emotions that I went through? Mm-hmm. So Cloud 9 basically represents drug abuse, alright? Mm-hmm. So the happy kid is a representation of me, or the part of me that wanted to escape reality and escape everything that was happening in my barren life. So that's what the desert kind of represents, that barren place that I didn't want to go back to. And the clothes represents me trying to escape it. And then that Raiden guy, I call him Allocai Supreme. So for the music video that we shot, that's not released yet. I keep teasing my fans with it. I came up with the director and I had an idea to come up with a character that would basically embody the responsible side of me, the side of me that basically knew that this was wrong and would try to get me on track. So I guess we decided to call him Allocai Supreme for some reason, and so we created him for the music video, but then the costume just kind of stuck on me. I was like, yo, I want to use this more.
You rocked it.
So then he became like this alter ego for me almost. So like I always used him, even though he just pretty much appears in Cloud9 in the music video. So he's the, I guess, the stricter side, and then that dude, the other guy with the face paint and everything, is the jolly guy that just wants to escape life.
Yeah.
And then Allocai Supreme keeps him grounded. He's kind of like the guardian of him.
See, I feel very smart in this moment. I'm smart. Oh, man. So we are in promotions, man. Let everybody know where they can connect with you online.
Alright, so my main social media platform that I post the most is Instagram. And Instagram, my username is @Allocai, so that's ALLOCAI. I joined Twitter the other day, based off of the demands from my fans. And you'll never guess the username for that. Guess what it is? Same thing, @Allocai, ALLOCAI, because nobody else has that name. Spotify, same thing, @Allocai, ALOCAI. Same thing on YouTube. And my website is currently down low because it's under construction, but you guessed it. The domain is actually the same thing, allocai.com.
Dope.
So anywhere you need to find me, it's always Allocai.
Most definitely. Well, man, I appreciate you for being on the show today, man. Keep being that happy guy. Most definitely is kind of working for you, so yeah.
For sure. Thank you.
I wish you much success in this business.
Thank you, my brother.
Most definitely. All right, man. Have a great night, dude. Peace out.
All right, you too. Thank you so much for having me.
No doubt.
Thank you, my Vigilantes family, as always, for checking out my podcast over here at Vigilantes Radio. All episodes are available for free download, and you can grab that from either Spreaker.com/only1mediagroup, iTunes, YouTube, any app that's on a Google Play or iTunes store, or our website, and that goes from every single episode that we've ever aired. If you'd like to request music or a particular guest or send something for me to play, email it to vradio@only1mediagroup.com. If it's music, please label it by artist and title. Here's my disclaimer. We are genre-free, we do not judge, and we absolutely do not base our opinions on hearsay but facts alone. And actually, you can scratch all of that because all of my opinions are always right. That's the bottom line. This is my show, so deal with it. Nah, just kidding. On behalf of myself, Dini-Mussolini, I appreciate all you guys for tuning in, either afterwards or live with us. Spread the word because sharing is caring. We stepped up our game just for you guys and our guests to make sure that you have the best experience here on our show. Be sure to connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, as well as Spreaker. We always follow back. That is the #1 rule. Okay, well, just remember to be yourself and be absolutely great at just doing that. Avoid being too comfortable because you're messing with your potential when you do that. Peace and have a good night.
You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, the people's choice for quality interviews, art, music, and hot topics. Hosted by Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds of the duo No Longer the Hero. All episodes of this podcast are available for free download at www.onlyonemediagroup.com. This is a Seventh Sign Regime Rebirth Worldwide Syndicate exclusive.